Okay, commentator Jason Morrison and Sky News host Danica De Giorgio join me now. Danica, what's your reaction to what I've just revealed tonight?
I'm completely stunned. I'm actually quite horrified, to be honest, Shari. I do agree with you. In the end, if you're genuine, you want to come here for genuine reasons, absolutely. But the fact is that it's taking 1 hour only to do these security checks. Who do we know? How do we know that these people are the right people to be bringing into this country? As you've just highlighted, there are serious flaws. Nobody from Gaza should be allowed into Australia unless there is complete certainty that they are not a security risk. The question that I'd be asking is how many of those do actually support Hamas? A survey last year found that almost 3 in 4 Palestinians believe the October 7 attack by Hamas on Israel was correct, and that the war has actually lifted support for the group. And that's a problem. We cannot be allowing people with that sort of a mentality into this country. And every day, Labor is looking weaker and weaker on border security.
I mean, Jason, the Prime Minister acted outraged that Peter Dutton was asking the questions. In fact, Peter Dutton was following the reports of us here on Sky News. I've been raising this issue since late last year. But this comes down to Australian values. It's a privilege to live in this country, and we do have a multicultural society. We want it to remain peaceful. We want to protect the peace that we have here, and we're seeing a terrible erosion of social cohesion at the moment.
Well, what you've just told us tonight in that introduction to your program tells us that the government, perhaps, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, has inadvertently injected harm into Australia. They have introduced people here who perhaps are not going to be peaceful and perhaps are not going to be cohesive and perhaps are propagandists for a terrorist regime. And if the government has inadvertently, and again I give them the benefit of the doubt on this, done this because they haven't done the checks thoroughly enough, then rip the handbrake up on it tonight and fix the problem. Fix the problem, you get ASIO, you swamp the people that are known troublemakers, you've got the list there, I can even see the names with marks next to them. I mean, if you can find it out, surely they can find it out, and surely they owe Australia explanation tonight as to what they are doing about the individuals and others that have just fallen through a very flimsy net. And the disgrace of this is governments are engaged to do no harm to the population. And I fear tonight that, you know, what you have told us and indeed what possibly is the reality is we are importing a problem and we don't need that.
Well, just to be clear, I haven't seen any evidence that they're not going to be peaceful or that they might do anything, you know, untoward. It's where their sympathies are. It's the attitude. It's the fact
I see that as a problem, actually.
Liking and endorsing the terror attacks of October 7 at a time when we have an anti-Semitism crisis.
We've already got a very large chunk of Australia that already wants to go and celebrate on the streets about this, and that worries the hell out of us. So.
And the question is, does the government not mind that people are coming into the country who do seem to support the Hamas terrorist attacks, or did we do a better job? Did I do a better job looking into these people than ASIO? And, you know, it's one of those two things there. Now, let's have a look at another topic. Anthony Albanese is now supporting a move to work from home after the Productivity Commission chair said that remote work wasn't a drag on productivity. Danielle Wood said that it could even benefit the economy. The Fair Work Commission is now investigating if employees should have working from home rights and whether these should be incorporated into industrial awards. Now, Danica, Anthony Albanese and Tony Burke claim that working from home can boost efficiency, but you would absolutely put your hat on it that they're making their own staff to turn up for work while they're trying to say that everyone else who runs a business, the staff should be able to
turn up for work, but also be on call 24/7. We can call you on the weekends. We could call you late at night. So it works very, very differently. Look, now the government wants to put its greasy hands into the way businesses operate. I mean, seriously, I believe this will cause more harm than good. I do not believe in working from home, making it a legal right. In fact, I don't believe in working from home full stop. I can understand for mothers out there, it's better flexibility, sure. But if you're in your 20s or your 30s and you're still sitting at home on your computer in your pyjamas doing your Zoom calls, your Microsoft Teams meeting, seriously, get off the couch and go to work. You don't have to be at home. I don't agree with it. I don't believe businesses can function properly with having half staff at home, half staff in the office. You need staff in the office to be able to foster a good business, to bring people through the ranks. It's better for morale. I mean, look what it's done to the CBDs. Businesses are losing money in the CBDs because nobody's gone back to the office. Offices are actually downsizing. I don't agree with work from home, and I do not believe that by making it a legal right, it's going to cause more issues for business than good.
Yeah. Look, Jason, I think that, as Danica just referred to, for mothers, often, inflexible hours, having to be at your desk, 9 till 6 has been a barrier to women returning to the workforce after they have children. Having flexible arrangements does allow women to participate in the work. And I tell you, there's no one more efficient than a mother, because you've got to get your work done before school pickup. But I agree, if you're in your 20s, or you're single, then what's your excuse? You don't need to work from home.
It's become almost the rite of passage, isn't it? The working from work. Who wants to work from work when you can work from... the thing that I find farcical, who are the experts on this at the moment? The experts we're hearing from are ACTU people who've probably never really had a real job outside organising and stirring. The Prime Minister, who's never made a product or service anyone has ever wanted. He's never had a job. The Treasurer, who similarly has never had employment outside of the sector of politics. The Industrial Relations Minister, Mr Burke, similarly, never had a job. I mean, all these people who are experts on how the world works. Employers are not all bastards. Employers are decent people who negotiate with their staff for outcomes that are best for their businesses. And when it fundamentally comes down, the person who's paying the bills gets to make the call. And I think on this front, having people work from work is not an explosively, new age idea. It's something that has worked with degrees of productivity that have been pretty good for a long time. Let's just stay with what we know.
But working from home worked during the pandemic. Fine.
Well, did it?
Well, it did it, but you had to, right? But it was enforced. You had no choice. It worked then. But we've moved beyond that. It's time to go back to the office. We can't keep these practices of years gone by. It doesn't work that way. How can you honestly foster a good relationship with your staff members if you've got 50% of them at home and 50% of them in the office? It doesn't work.
Yeah.